This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred. It's Friday night, not the Friday night I'm sure you'd like to have. Conor, obviously getting ready for tomorrow night when you return to the ring. But firstly, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good. It's been a while since I last saw you in person. I can't actually think back to when that would have been.
Vegas.
Probably was, yeah. That feels like some time ago as well. Before we do kind of go over what could be coming up, let's go on to Saturday night. Yourself, Chris Van Heerden. What did you make of Chris on the scales, kind of? Because it was certainly a talking point at the weight that he came in at.
It's just bizarre, really, because I don't understand why he come in at that weight. Whether it's the inactivity that's made him worry about his weight or him just coming in light. I'm not quite sure. Each to their own. But I wouldn't be coming in late or getting off any weight that I don't need to get off.
Kind of heading into this fight, when it was first announced, I'm sure you saw kind of the criticisms of it, not on your behalf because everybody's seen how explosive and how good you've looked recently, but people are keen to see you pushing on with those bigger names, which I'm sure you're probably fed up of hearing now. When this fight's drawn closer, how have you felt about the public perception of it? Has it bothered you at all? Do you care about what others think?
Not really, no, because I'm all about the progression of my career. I do believe this is the last fight at this level before you're really talking about the elite fighters of the world. I'm not saying that Van Heerden is a great fighter, former world champion. He's fringe world level in my opinion. You would say the last 4 opponents have been world level, but he's the last one at this level. And then you're talking about the elites. You're talking about the current fighters. But everyone wants to rush me. That's fine. You need to allow your fighters to have as many learning fights as they can. For example, Jaron is fought in his 27th fight. Why? The hard fights will come for these fighters, and the hard fights will come for myself. It's just a matter of making sure that I'm 100% ready for when those challenges do come. That I couldn't have learned that a bit sooner. Couldn't have learned to deal with a southpaw a bit better. I couldn't learn, there's so many things you got to learn in the fight game.
Kind of with this, as you said there, you believe this will be your last one at this level because of how you've dealt with the Algerias, the Formellas and what have you of the world, the Granados. Do you feel like you need to live up to that expectation of producing a statement, looking explosive, or do you feel that there's almost too much expectation on you that you will kind of blow through these opponents at this stage?
I don't really look into it, to be honest. Yeah, you sort of just go, I'll go in there and do what I need to do. Do you know what I mean? And that's going in there and me trying to iron him out either way. Do you know what I mean? That's just the way I am. That's just my mindset. And if I don't, then I like boxing for the 12. I'll give him a beating for the 12. If he wants to then have it turns out to be a scrap. It turns out to be a scrap. Fight's a fight. Do you know what I mean? So you have good days in the office. You have bad days in the office. I've very rarely had a bad day in the office. If you look at my career, I had a bad day maybe once, twice in 20 fights. I mean, that's pretty good going. So I'm just making sure I switched on, stay focused, and which is what I am anyway. I'm an intense geezer, and I translate that into the ring whenever I fight.
So kind of what happens tomorrow night when yourself and Chris Van Heerden are in the ring just before those final seconds and that bell goes, what is going to go down?
It's so mad how you can just visualise that. I can really see it. It's going to be explosive from my part. I mean, yeah, I'm a bit aggressive in there, very.
Moving forward with what could be next, the likes of the Cal Brooks have been mentioned. You mentioned to me previously Mikey Garcia, Danny Garcia. You're shaking your head.
Because I'm not answering these questions. From now on, fight week, what could be is forbidden. Okay. Because it's, at the end of the day, the public demand whatever they demand. But my reality is Saturday night, I've got Van Heerden in front of me. And if I don't get through Van Heerden, which is not going to happen, but everything gets scrapped. It's irrelevant. So the question you're asking me now is completely irrelevant. But Saturday night I will give you an answer.
Is it difficult not to look at what could be ahead then?
No, not difficult whatsoever. At all. I don't look past anyone. I made that mistake early on in my career. I don't look past anyone. I don't focus on you know, what's on the horizon, what could be, what couldn't be. At the end of the day, Van Heerden is the person I've got to do a job on. He is my job. That is it. He is my objective. He is my goal. And that's that. And I can't answer these questions truthfully anyway, and sit there and go, etc., etc. My main objective is knocking and beating, however it comes, Van Heerden.
So I'm only going to ask one more follow-up on it all. Even though I probably know that you're not going to answer it. What fight which you look at which you think is most realistic for you next? Whets your appetite the most?
It's just like, don't know. I'd probably go. I haven't even thought about it. I think Kell Brook's fighting Junior. I think Amir Khan's going to be there Saturday night. I don't really want to fight Khan.
Would you still like? Frank said that he thinks, if don't get me wrong, it would be a massive fight in terms of the interest on it. But as I said to Frank, I don't really think you'd gain much from it because of how Cal dealt with him.
Exactly. You know, you want the winner. You want to challenge yourself. Don't get me wrong. Listen, the big domestics are what the public want. The big domestics are what the public get. You know, it's like idols to rivals. But I'd rather you know, I know everyone wants a big name, but I'm more interested in the progression of my career. The paydays will come. They're at the tail end of their career, so that, you know, they're thinking, yeah, cool, I can cash out now. I'm thinking more about actually developing styles I've got to get through, fighters I've got on me. You know, there's so much more to it. I'm at such a different stage in my career where progression for me is really important, and I think progression for me outweighs the big fights currently. Because at the end of the day, I'm forever developing, you know, and, you know, I'm always growing.
Just on Cal, what do you make if he does end up facing Chris Eubank Jr. because of a weight difference and what they'd have to agree there?
I'm really interested. They're both at the end of their career, really. Do you know what I mean? What's Eubank Jr. doing at the minute? I don't even know what he's doing at the minute. Do you know what I mean? You know, I think he's playing poker out in Vegas. So it's all right for some. I mean, he's made a lot of money in the game, but you know, I've really applied myself for the past 6 years. So I just want to go there and get that world title. To be honest, Kell Brook's ranked higher than me. Kell Brook fight I'd love. That makes sense to me because he's ranked now #1 in Britain. I believe I'm the better fighter in Britain. He's ranked higher than me in the world rankings. It makes sense. You know. Apart from that, I ain't really interested, to be honest.
Away from that, I'm sure a fight which if you don't watch during the night Saturday night, you'll watch at some point. Errol Spence Jr. and your Dennis Ugas. What's your take?
I like Ugas. I think, is this one fight too many? 147 for Spence. Obviously the car injuries, the eye. You don't know when you spend that long out of the ring. You just don't know. Whereas Ugas looked okay against Pacquiao, so it definitely has the favours on his side. Ugas. I don't think many people are giving him a chance, but I think Ugas could do it.
Final one, kind of, just because I've asked most people throughout fight week. Next week, Fury White. What's your prediction? What's your thoughts on how that fight plays out?
I like Fury. I like White. I think they're great fighters. You know, they're the they're British boxing. Do you know what I mean? Obviously got AJ, but you know, you're talking about British boxing there. So for this fight to be here, first off, is it's amazing for boxing, British boxing especially. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if White did win. But it's gonna be some adversity. It's a good fight. It's a good fight. I don't know if it's gonna be a fight.
I can't get a prediction from you, or can I push it?
I can't. I'm honestly got to sit on the fence because it depends on Fury's approach. If Fury comes to fight or comes to be crafty and box and, you know, frustrate Dylan, you know, but then Dylan ain't been playing none of the mind games, so it's a really hard one. I've got to sit on the fence, but you would lean more towards Fury. You would, based on the last few performances. But then wouldn't be surprised if White won.
I'm interested, kind of, as you mentioned mind games there. This week you haven't really had, not necessarily mind games, but that back and forth with Chris Van Heerden. I know you've seen him say he feels he's a better boxer or what have you, but he's been very respectful here. Do you enjoy that sort of thing? Do you prefer that? Do you feel it brings more out of you come fight night when you have an opponent in front of you who throughout fight week will kind of be giving it back to you, trying to get underneath your skin, or do you look at him and think you don't really care?
Yeah, you got to get under my skin, because when I stood there next to him, I get revved up already. Do you know what I mean? Because I look at it as a disrespect him, thinking he can take what's mine and take away what I got and what I provide for my family. I find that disrespectful. But that's just the way it gets me going. Do you know what I mean? So it don't really matter what he says, because talk is cheap. People build fights, and if it's not genuine beef, then I don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? I don't have no beef with anyone, to be honest, because I can't be asked. At the end of the day, we'll get in the ring and settle it as men, and the best man will win. So it don't really matter to me. Talk is so cheap. That's what bothers me. Do you know what I mean? It's when, talk is cheap, innit? I don't really listen to the talk, because when we get in fight night, you ain't got nowhere to go.
Right, kind of final thing before I let you go. A message to your fans, your followers, to your family back in Australia, those over here. Just what would you like to say to everybody ahead of tomorrow night?
Just a massive thank you for all the support. It's been a blessing, and Saturday night we go again.
Conor Benn, as always, appreciate your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.